friend Roger Christofferson here with another almost said first listen review, but this is 91st listen. This one actually took me a couple. It's a little bit more involved album, so it wasn't one I could just listen to and get an overall concept of with the first listen. It's Porcupine Tree's newest one, Closure Continuation. Now, I was introduced to this band probably about 15 years ago, so I'm a little bit late to the game with the band and also this review because it's been out a couple weeks now, but I couldn't just whip out a first listen review on this one. It wasn't going to happen. It took a little bit more attention than most albums I've been listening to lately. That being said, I suppose we can get right into it. It's actually just a three-piece band at this point. They've gone through a few different members, but they're down to just a three-piece. And Steven Wilson's been busy, obviously in the past few years doing his own solo albums and doing lots of remixes for other bands, which is kind of how I've really gotten to know them more than the band. So I'm not going to pretend, I'm a scholar on Porcupine Tree or anything like that, but I do like Steven Wilson's work, and I have followed what he's been doing the last few years. Like that song Pariah he did a few years ago, I know it's kind of a mainstream song for him anyway, but I really like that song. And so, he's probably like in my top tier of producers and mixers and even songwriting. So that being said, I really don't listen to Porcupine Tree a lot, but I have all their albums, and this one is probably going to change that. I really like this album. It's I'm not going to go through list by list on this one, but I'll go with a quick overview on it, just because there's too much to say about this album. You're really going to have to listen to it. But Steven Wilson takes over bass duties on this one, and it's kind of funny because the album starts with bass, him playing bass, and the bass line he plays is pretty cool. It's in kind of some weird, I think it's 5/4 time, but if there's any drummers out there, you might want to correct me on that one. Typical progressive stuff. They have to start with odd timing. They just went right into it, just some odd time. But anyway, that song Harridan is pretty cool. It's I think it was the single that they first released here a few months ago, so I had heard that one before, so I really like that song. And then the second one on here, Of the New Day, it was kind of funny when it first started and he starts singing. The vocal line, he's got a different style that he sticks with, and just the melody of the very first line of the song, I'm like, I've heard this somewhere, and I still can't pinpoint where I've heard it. It might be on one of his solo albums. And they use it again later on and on one of the other songs too, and it's like, well, I guess it's cool to use themes, or if it's just maybe just natural for him to sing certain melodies. I'm sure that happens with a lot of singers over the year, but more of a mellower song. That one's pretty cool. I like that one. Rat's Return, as it gets into kind of the heavier progressive stuff. And when I say rock, I don't really mean like it's metal or anything like that. It's rock. It's got a different vibe to it than the first two songs, which actually I'll say about this whole album that it's all over the place, which I like. It feels like a ride, like albums used to feel. Dignity, Herd Culling's a great song. It gets a little bit more progressive in that one. And Walk the Plank is a good song. Chimera's Wreck actually has like a lot of different emotions involved in that one too, which on the regular album, that's kind of where it ends. But me, I have to get the Deluxe album, so there's 3 more songs on that one. And they continue on with the flow of the album. I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you get just a regular album on this one, because those extra 3 songs on there, Population 3, which I'm sure refers to them just being a 3-piece now, instrumental one. And then they have Never Have, which I think that was the song, because I've only listened to the album twice. I think that was the one where he's got that melody comes back in that he kind of repeats. And that might be why they didn't keep it on this original album, because it does repeat that similar vocal melody, even though it's a completely different song. And then Love in the Past Tense is where it ends, which is 5-minute 40 song. It's pretty straightforward on that one. As far as Porcupine Tree goes, that's anyway. That being said, it's a good album. I'm probably gonna have to listen to this one a few more times. I've actually got it in the disc player right now. Just got done listening to it again, and I'm really digging it. Like I said, not the biggest Porcupine Tree follower over the years, but I think after this one I'm gonna have to dig out some of those earlier albums, because I do have them all. I'm like one of those guys that has to have everything. Been really digging the Steve Wilson stuff over the years, although his stuff tends to be a little bit more on the mellower side. The last album he had that one kind of poppy tune on it, which I really didn't like that one at all. And I saw that one video where he redid one of Taylor Swift's songs, and I thought that was a little odd, but I have to give musicians credit when they try something new and they try to new grounds. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've done the same thing. I've tried things I thought would be really cool with some back, and it's not. But if the musician, artist enjoys what they're doing and other people are out there enjoying it, you can't fault them for that. I like hearing music that explores new territory, but also kind of remains a little bit familiar, so you're not like just totally losing the artist and their artistry. If that makes any sense to anybody, but yeah, tell me what you guys think. This is just me babbling about what I think about it, so go ahead in the comments below and babble on what you guys think about this. Maybe school me a little bit more on this band. I'm really digging it. So yeah, be sure to like, subscribe, all that stuff. I know I have to ask at the end of every video because it really does help people see more of the stuff and get the communication going and more conversations started and gets more people interested in these bands, maybe listening to something they wouldn't normally have listened to. That's why I try to pick a lot of different music for this channel and get people interested in new stuff. But anyway, that's what I try to do. So talk to you guys later. Really appreciate it.